Hey family, thanks for your like, your share, your view, and your subscribes. Today's video is going to be different. This is going to be something different. This is a trigger warning. I'm warning you guys now. It is a trigger warning, especially for those who have been victims of, sexual assault, molestation, rape, stuff like that. I'm going to be opening up and telling you guys my story. I was guided by the spirits to do this. And hopefully I can help somebody by sharing my story. Okay, I'm actually gonna call my mom. My mom, this was something traumatic for both of us, okay? And we both had to heal, and learn through, So I'm gonna call her, and we're gonna, chop it up and have a conversation about this, because this has to be, my spirits need this to get out. Especially if there's any other victims of this person. Yeah. All right, we live in action. All right, so, I don't even know where to start. Okay, so when I was about 16, 15 years old, I want to say 15. I was 15. I was molested. Hold on. What? You just ate. Go wait. I'm working. Wait a second. Go. So, yeah. And this person who we're going to be talking about is my mom's ex-boyfriend. It happened multiple occasions. I was only fully aware of one, though. So, we're going to get into it. Okay? We're going to this is really triggering, but it's time to talk about it. I actually recently exposed my father, my biological father, like last year for the same thing. So I guess this was like a preparation for me to just start facing all these motherfucking demons. So, the incident that I remember and fully was, we all lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in the Bronx on Hunts Point, and I shared a room with 2 of my other siblings, my brothers. So our room was getting renovated, the floors. They had to strip our floors. So we all ended up sleeping in the same room. Me, my mom, and my 2 brothers. Her boyfriend would sleep in the living room. And we all would alternate between our family, who slept on the bed, who slept on the floor, stuff like that. It was my turn to sleep on the bed. Everybody else slept on the floor. And the bed was pressed against the wall right next to the door, right? So I'm asleep, and I felt something on my chest. So I opened my eyes a bit, and I saw him. So now he's creeping. He's opening the door, closing the door. I got my eyes low where he can't tell that they're open, but I can see enough. So he's peeking in, peeking out, peeking in, peeking out, door creaking little by little. And then he finally went in again to make his attempt. And before he could even I let him touch me. I let him do it the second time. Because I wanted to make sure, is you bugging out? Did you really just feel that? What is he doing? So once he put his hand on me, I slammed the door on his arm. And then he pulled his arm out, and I woke up my mom, Mom, wake up. Sharma's touched me. He touched me. So she wake up frantically. We're in the same room, less than 2 feet away from each other. And he still didn't give a fuck. Still chose to do what he did. Okay? That shows the mental illness in people. That they don't have no regards to anybody around. When those urges kick, they kick the fuck in. So she wakes up. Like, what happened? What happened? What happened? So I explained to her what happened. I wasn't even crying. I was just frantic. I was shaking like, yo, I was stuck. Like, did he really just do that? Did that really just happen just now? Still trying to process it to make sure. Are you bugging? No, but you made sure you did the right thing. You didn't speak out right away. You made sure that you saw what you were seeing before you reacted. He touched me twice. Twice. But the second time was when I closed the door on him. The first time woke me up. So, she go out, confronts him. I don't know what she talk about. I would never do that. I love Nene. That's my nickname. I love Nene. I would never do that. I love her. I love her. I love her. That's my kid. That's like my child. Mom Deuce wasn't hearing that shit. She wrote out. Period. Everybody talking shit. She wrote out. This nigga hides his face to this day. The way he take his pictures, because I was on his page before I decided to actually do this. He don't show the scar, but she cut him. Because she knew that I wasn't lying. She felt it. And plus, we've dealt with things like this before. So she knew. So, he goes outside. She chases after him. They go up the block arguing. He's still denying it. She bucked him, called the cops. That was that. That was the end of that relationship, right? But as the days afterwards went on, I started to think back. Like, how many times did he actually do this then? This couldn't have been the first time that he did that. And then I remembered vividly one other time where I caught him and I just didn't know what he would do, what he was actually fucking doing. When you trust somebody and you feel like, they wouldn't do that, that would be the last thing you expect. You feel me? Like, so after recalling my thoughts and stuff, it was a time when, I don't know if y'all from Hunts Point, it was Miss Polite. Shout out to Light. She used to do little block parties on Bryant Ave for us. So it was one year she did a block party and she invited some African dancers to come out. And they did a rain dance. That's how I remember it perfectly because I never experienced a rain dance before. So I would never forget that day.
Nay, before you get into that whole situation, let me just speak my piece on the first situation that you spoke upon. So, hi everyone. Hello to Tanea's YouTube viewers and her tribe, which is a part of my tribe as well. I love y'all. And yeah, basically, like up until the point where she described where he touched her while we were all in the room, and when she woke me up to tell me what had happened, I knew because I actually heard the movements that she described. I was sleeping, but I still could hear. I heard when the door opened. I didn't think nothing of it because, he was my partner. On top of the fact, I wouldn't have thought he would do some crazy shit like that. Although we were already in the outs anyway, because that night was just a hectic ass night. You know what I'm saying? And it was arguing and carrying on going on that evening. And so when she told me he did what he did, without a shadow of a doubt, I believed her because I heard how the door was opening and closing. I thought he was just coming in to check to see if I was still up, not thinking nothing of it. Because she was laying in the bed that was closest to the door. So once she told me that, I had to get my mind right because I experienced trauma. You know what I'm saying? And she's experienced trauma as a young, as a young child. So automatically, I went into mama bear mode. And yes, I confronted him while he was in the apartment. And once he saw that I was I was getting in that ass, I was about to get in that ass, he ran out the house. he left. And it was like what time in the morning? Early in
It
the
was
morning.
early.
8 hours in the morning, like 6, 7, 8 in
Yeah.
the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's outside. It was quiet as fuck. And I was throwing his clothes out the window, everything. That was it. That was the straw that broke this camel's back. Like, you know, I trusted this man around my children, and he violated. And I couldn't allow that. I just couldn't allow that. So, you know, I did what I felt like I had to do to protect mine. And that was a traumatic situation, you know, and I felt horrible because, you know, as a parent, you know, first of all, I was a young parent when I had Tanae. I was a teenager when I had her. And, you know, having
I'm
a
the
toxic
eldest.
ass relationship and what we've experienced with her dad, it was hard. It was really hard raising, you know, being a single parent as a young teen. Then I met another man that I fell in love with, married him, had 2 children by him, you know, and hoping that this marriage would work, you know, and he was the right fit, which turned out. So going through these failures of relationships with men was very difficult. And then for this one to turn around and violate my daughter, I couldn't take no more. I just couldn't take no more, and I snapped. But I had to really gain my composure because I didn't want to go to jail. I was willing to go to jail, but I couldn't afford to go to jail because who was going to look after my children? So we had to figure it out. But needless to say, he got ran off the block. He got dealt with. The police came, filed a report. He ran, he hid, and we just moved on with our lives. He wasn't allowed to come back around, and that was the end of that. So go ahead, Tanea. You can continue.
So, the day of the rain dance, everybody else is still outside. My mom, my brothers, DEMOND, TAZEWELL, because they wanted me to say his name because he has other victims out here. I'm not his only victim. So DEMOND TAZEWELL was outside as well. Everybody's outside. I'm upstairs. I go to sleep. I was tired. It was a hot summer day. I didn't know that energy from the rain dance. It's like somehow I felt connected to it because I got drank as fuck. Drank immediately. Like I went right upstairs and went right to sleep. So I hear the door opening and closing, the front door. So people are coming in and out of the house. I'm very well aware of that. But remember I was saying we all sleeping in one room. So we all in my mom's room. I'm by myself in my mom's room, sorry. And I heard her door open. I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm thinking it's her. I'm thinking, even if it is him, okay, he's coming in to get something, he's coming back out. I'm not suspecting anything. But I was wearing shorts. It was a hot ass summer day. I'm wearing shorts and I had on a blanket, not a blanket, a sheet over me. But my legs were still out though. So as I'm sleeping, I felt something. I'm laying on my stomach, on my side like this. I felt something on my butt. That nigga was grabbing on my ass while I was sleeping. So and it scared me because it's like, okay, so now that's 2 times that you can recall. How many times really was it then? That you just had no knowledge of, and that it just like your spirit just started to make you not sleep so deep. It was like my body functioned itself to wake up and to hear shit and to be alert, even though I didn't understand what was going on. But my body knew what was going on. My spirit knew, like, bitch, hold on, you sleeping too hard. You sleeping too peaceful right now. Keep one eye open, bitch. And I did. So, after the second situation, when the police was called, my mom addressed him and everything. He's out, right? Never hear from him. He's gone. My mom moves on. I move on. Now, I was 15, 16 years old when this happened. I've always had a body. I've always been thick. I've always had hips. I've always had something. So, you know, it was always there for me. The attraction,
let's be clear, Tanea, too, because you don't want your viewers to just think, you know, the first incident was when he touched your butt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you came to that inclination
Afterwards.
in adult years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Let's just be clear.
Mm-hmm.
But the actual thing that we addressed and we had to really deal with at that time was when he touched your breast when we were all sleeping in that one room together. So just be very clear on the message that you're sending. Like, be very clear on the time frame.
That right there.
Right. So she didn't come to the knowledge that the first time that she really did experience him physically touching her was before we actually put two and two together, and I had to address it. You know, she figured that out in her adult years. So, you know, y'all, I made a lot of poor decisions, y'all. Let me tell y'all. You know, when we start talking about this spiritual work and healing, you know, this shit runs deep. It runs deep. Carrying generational curses is real, and it's deep, and it's heavy, and it's painful, and it's traumatic, and it creates a lot of fucking illusions. So when you break out of the illusions, reality the realities of everything is tough to swallow, but it's necessary to deal with. It has to be dealt with in order for you to grow. But go ahead, continue, baby.
Oh yeah, shit. Me talking about this right now is nerve-wracking. My anxiety is up right now. Like, but it needs.
Why?
Because it's just, when you really think about it, right? Like just how you explained it, like, you know, it happened multiple times as a young child, but you don't fully realize this shit until you're an adult of how deep it really was.
Right.
And I didn't, and it wasn't, and I probably would never made that inkling, and then it made so many connections as I had I not stepped into my spirituality.
That's
and right. Actually trusted.
Me either. The same thing here. Go ahead.
Because my spirits was the ones that actually pulled me, like, listen, this is what happened. This is what happened. They showed me shit in my dreams. The reason why I'm talking about this now is because I had a dream last night about him. He popped up in my dreams last night. And then I went to, you know, as I was thinking, am I really going to do this? Do I want to do this? Should I do this? Is this the right thing to do? Even though I know it's the right thing to do. Then something told me, go on his Facebook page. They told me to search him. I didn't even, all I put in is DMS. Sorry, DMS. DES. His name is DEMOND. No, DEM. Sorry. My nerves. Okay.
It's okay. Breathe through it.
Yes, I'm breathing. I'm doing this. Fucking doing this.
Be anxious about. We telling our truth, and we healing, and we allowing this situation, a traumatic situation, that we triumph through, and using this as a teachable moment through what the healing journey looks like, and where it can take you, the growth that comes from it, the courage, the strength, the healing. You know, we have to deal with the pain. So you're doing good, and I'm here to support you through it all. So continue.
So I typed in 2 to 3 letters of his name, and his profile was the first one that popped up. First of all, nobody else even popped up but him. And I know there's other people in this world named DEMOND. I didn't even put in the last name. I just put in the first two to three letters of his first name. I never looked that man up on my Facebook or nothing like that. I have no need to. I had no urge to. But for 3 profile pictures to pop up about him, they was just like, just do it. And that also let me be known that I had to put his name out. I wasn't going to. I was going to keep his name out of it. But that would defeat the purpose.